I was wrong, and I admit it. The other day I was asking my son to wash his clothes, and he did. But then when I went over to the laundry room, I noticed in his hamper there were still clothes. I was a little frustrated because there was a certain set of clothes he really needed to wash because he needed them for that day. So I asked him why he didn't wash all of his clothes and he left some of them dirty in his hamper. He was very confused and insisted that he did. When he goes over to the laundry room to see what I'm talking about, he notices, yeah, there are in fact some clothes in his hamper. He still insists that he did wash all of his clothes, but I'm like, well, there they are in the hamper. What happened? Of course, he doesn't really have an answer, so I tell him, well, is it possible that you were just rushing and made a mistake? And that's okay, mistakes happen. But he doubles down and still insists that he did wash all of his clothes. I tell him, look, this is not a big deal. It's a very small mistake, and mistakes happen. But you should use this as a learning opportunity to avoid big mistakes later. Sometimes when we rush, we make silly mistakes. But again, he insists, no, 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 I did wash all of my clothes. I tell him, I said what I have to say. The rest is on you, and I trust that you will learn the lesson. Well, it turns out I was wrong. And it turns out that my wife had taken out some of his clothes so she could fit hers in with his. So now I owe him an apology, and I learned the lesson not to jump to conclusions. But I was wrong about something else as well. The other day, I predicted that Trump was going to place blame for not releasing the Epstein files on the Democrats by claiming that they destroyed them. But instead, he's saying that the Democrats wrote the Epstein files, so they shouldn't be trusted and shouldn't be released. I was wrong, and I admit it. And the lesson I learned here is to not underestimate Trump's stupidity. But the truth of the matter is that all of this outrage from MAGA about Trump's lack of transparency on Epstein is too little, too late. Because Trump's connection with Epstein was well documented. And when he was a co defendant with Epstein in a teen SA case, MAGA just simply sane-washed it and said, no, he wouldn't do that. That's lies. They thought with their feelings rather than logic. And when the girl dropped the case out of fear for her life, they continued to just ignore the warnings. So none of this should come as a surprise because the warnings were always there. And the fact that many of his supporters are placing blame on Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, or Dan Bongino instead of Trump says to me that they are continuing to just think with their feelings in order to avoid admitting to themselves that they were wrong about Trump. They can't admit they were wrong, and they refuse to learn the lesson. If you voted for Trump and are now burning your MAGA hat, I say great. I applaud your growth. But don't stop there. Ask yourself, what else was I wrong about? And learn the lesson.